All right, everybody, we are back, and like I told you, it's now Wednesday, and new shoes are here in this Tennis Warehouse box. I swear I bought it from Running Warehouse, but this is exciting stuff. I'm gonna see if we can open this box. Maybe I should use a pair of scissors, honestly, but we're already committed at this point. Boom, boom, bada bing. And what do we have? What do we have? Adidas. Look at this. Sharp. This is sharp. They kind of look like, honestly, I bet if I was running from afar, these would kind of look like the Alpha Flies. I mean, on closer inspection, they don't, but just from the color alone, people are probably going to think I'm rocking the Nike Alpha Flies, which I'm not, because they're like $200. These are the Adidas Bostons. The Adidas Boston 9, and this is exciting for me because this is actually the first species of shoe, if you will, that I have ever run into renditions of now, or will run into renditions of. I've actually never gotten the same type of shoe twice, or like a later model of the same type of shoe before in my life. I don't think so anyway. I almost did. I got the Mizuno Wave Elixir 7s were like my first legitimate pair of running shoes ever. And then I got some other thing that was like kind of similar that was supposed to be like the continuation of it, but I think they actually discontinued the Wave Elixirs after 8 maybe. So this will be the first one ever. And it's pink, and I think it's gonna look good on the track. So I'm excited. We're gonna test it out now. I'm gonna put these babies on and go hit the track, get some footage of that. So we'll see how it goes. All right, everybody. So first, we are gonna do a little warm up to the track. It's about 1.3 miles or so. Test these guys out for the first time. They definitely feel lighter than I remember, but they were already a light shoe, but they feel lighter and just like bouncier than I remember. I don't remember what rendition I had. Maybe like 6 or something, 5, probably 5. It was 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, we're gonna test it out. Do the old bread and butter to the track, East River Park. Here we go. Okay, we have made it to the track. I probably went a little too fast on that warm-up, but I felt like I had to. It just felt good. It's probably like half of it's just like mental, just being in new shoes that just feel, I mean, these are so much lighter than the Glide Rides. With like, I don't know, maybe like 3 ounces or something like that, which is pretty significant in the running shoe world. Actually very significant. But yeah, we're here. I have a little bit of carpenter syndrome because I warmed up too fast, but that's all right. I had the same thing last week when I did like that 1200, and I just kind of ran barefoot for a little bit and did a little walking around on the grass, and it was gone after a bit. So I'm not worried about that. I can now tell you a little bit about the compartment in more scientific terms than I could a week ago, but we'll hold off on that for now. So I haven't decided exactly what I want to do yet. I think I'll probably run a couple laps, maybe like a mile on the track at like a moderate, like threshold level pace, around 7 minutes or so. See how that feels, because I'm not just gonna go out and run a mile all out without like, you know, with just winging it. Like last week, the only reason I did that was because I felt really good. I felt like I could do it, and it wouldn't be too bad. So I'm not gonna force it if it doesn't feel right. But you know, I've got high prospects. So we're gonna see. Alrighty, folks. So we ran another 5 laps, and I feel good. I will say, like, aerobically, I feel great. Like, I was barely even breathing through my mouth, even though I was at like 7:10 to 7:20 pace for most of it. The last lap I did in like 95 seconds maybe, or something like that. So just over 6-minute pace, and I barely started to breathe through my mouth a bit towards the end of that. So I'm feeling really good aerobically. My legs are a little tired though. They're a little tired. I don't feel quite as fresh as I did last week about this time. Granted, last week I took Tuesday off, and then did a pretty easy run Wednesday, and then did the 1200 in the threshold run on Thursday. So I probably was a little more fresh, to be honest. So we might not be PRing here. We might not be going as fast as I did a week ago for those 3 laps, but I figure I might as well give it a shot. If I feel like absolute garbage, then I'll stop after 800, probably. Nope. It's 800 meter. Still feel aerobically great. Like, I don't feel like I'm not killing over at all. I'm breathing heavy, but not even that bad. legs are just a little tired today. Definitely not worth pushing it when you got planned long run tomorrow. Maybe Friday, but I think probably tomorrow. So I'm not gonna wreck myself. But yeah, I know what the pacing was. There's a lesson from this. Don't rely on your GPS watch's pacing. Because the first lap, most of the first lap I said I was running 5:30. So then I tried to speed it up, even though I was pretty sure it wasn't 5:30. And yeah, ended up being, well, then I got partway through the second lap and I said it was at 4:50. So pacing is not there. I think what I need to do in the future is just start the clock fresh, rather than try to use the pacing just to start and stop, just so I can actually just do the splits myself while I'm running. Just start at 0 and then see where I'm at each 200 and adjust from there. But yeah, sorry I couldn't go for the mile this week. I don't know if we'll get another chance for a few weeks just because the race is coming up, but that's all right. That's not the goal. At least I got a little bit of video of me running. I'll get a little bit more. I'm definitely got to cool down for a while after that. I felt it in the high up in my hamstring. So perhaps my adductor muscles, we're gonna loosen those up. So I'll get some more video in the meantime. So, a little fun fact about the Bostons. The reason I ever got them in the first place, this was, I want to say the very beginning of sophomore year of college. So pretty much exactly 4 years ago. One of my goals when I, first started running marathons, or decided to run my first marathon, was I wanted to qualify for Boston. That's like what actually got me into marathon running. Was I remember, I think it was my sophomore or junior year of high school. Must have been sophomore year, yeah. The end of sophomore year of high school, I came home from school. This was like when I was really in the middle of like loving track a lot. It was April that year, and the Boston Marathon bombings happened. And I just remember watching that on the news and just being, obviously appalled. But after that, I was like, all right, I want to run that marathon. So then I ran my first one the following May, my junior year, and ran another one my senior year of high school, and then the same one. And then 2 years later, or about a year and a half later, I decided, all right, now I think I'm like, could potentially, if I tried, focus all my energy, qualify for the Boston Marathon. And to do that, you had to run a 3 hour and 5 minute marathon to qualify at the time. Now it's actually faster. Now it's like 3 hours, I think, for my age group, that is, which I think is males like, I don't know, 20 to 25 maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe 20 to 29, honestly. But anyway, I was like, well, I went to the shoe store to get my shoe that I was going to train in for this event, and he brought out a couple of shoes, and one of the ones he brought out was, surprisingly, actually, now that I reflect back on that, was the Adidas Bostons, which must have been the Boston 4 or 5 or 6 at the time, like I said, which is surprising because it's not a stability shoe. I think that's the only guy that ever brought me out a non-stability shoe, but I was like, how could I not run in those? That's the goal. So then I wore them all the way through my training cycle, and I think I raced in them too. Even though I was getting up to in the mileage on them and they were wearing out a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I did race in them. And unfortunately I did not qualify, but that's a story for another time. But I really liked the shoe overall. That was back before I had any injury issues ever in my life, when I was a young whippersnapper. So now I have to be a little bit more careful about just willy-nilly choosing shoes like that. But you know, there's other things that go into it, like, besides shoes. I've already talked about that before. So enough of that. We're gonna finish cooling down, maybe another half mile or mile on the track, and then the mile and a quarter back home. And then we will be good for the day. Big dinner tonight. Big dinner for in preparation for long run. So excited for that.